Welcome to the Ksf Ecstar Suzuki video podcast. Today we have Jesse Madden with us. We're going to have a chat today, Jesse, about all things in life. And then we'll get to how he's progressing towards the start of the MX2 National Series, where he hasn't raced in the outdoor series for a couple of years. But firstly, welcome, Jesse.
Thanks, mate.
All right, so you've joined the Ksf Ecstar Suzuki team this year. But I want to take you back to a long time ago and tell us all when you first started riding.
Well, I first started riding when I was about 6 or 7. My cousins used to race back in the day, and that's pretty much what motivated me to ride.
Yep.
My whole family rode. My pop was Australian champion. Dad rode back in his day as well, so there was kind of a bit of motivation to ride there. And I didn't race for a few years, and Dad just come to me one day and said, "Do you want to go for a race on your bike?" And it all went from there.
Okay, cool.
Reed Creek, and had my first race on a 65, and from then I never looked back and just kept riding.
Oh, tell us about that. I mean, look, you said your pop was the Australian champion. Did you ever get to ride with him?
No, never get to ride with him, but he's still got some of his old bikes there, so he lives down in Tasmania.
Okay.
I've gone down there a few times with Dad and had a look at his bikes and stuff. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, but unfortunately you didn't get to ride with him.
No, it would have been good.
All right, so what was your first bike?
First bike was a Pee-wee 80. I used to ride that around the paddock just with my brothers and stuff, and from there I went to a KTM 65, and that's what I started racing on.
All right, so you just basically started like so many other young kids, just riding a bike out in the paddock and...
Yeah, riding around the mud, having a bit of fun, and I wanted to get on the start line. So
okay. All right, so outside of that there, when you were a young fella, did you play any other sports?
I tried football.
How'd you go at that?
One day, I think.
Yeah, what happened?
Didn't like it.
Why?
Wasn't a team player. I just wanted to do my own thing.
You weren't a team player?
And motorbikes, I like that a lot more, so stayed with that.
Alright, so when you say you weren't a team player and you like with motorbikes, is that sort of an indication that you're a little bit selfish, or
I don't know.
or you just don't like others?
I just didn't play well in the team.
You don't play well with others?
Yeah, didn't play well with others at all. So, I mean, as I grew up, I did a lot of other things like wakeboarding and just stuff to get away from motocross.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun. I like doing a bit of boxing and stuff like that, and wakeboarding. Riding my Harley, get my head off things, and when I'm not doing those things, I'm on the bike or I'm training.
Okay. So, I understand a little bit that you did boxing for a little bit of a time?
Yeah, it was good fitness.
Yeah.
I mean, Dad's flatmate was Australian champion boxer as well. So
okay.
he was pushing me into the shed to do boxing training, and Dad was taking me to the track to do to train on the bike.
Did you have any fights?
No.
Not even in the schoolyard?
I had a few of them, but
yeah. How'd you go?
Pretty good.
All right. And you spoke about wakeboarding.
Yeah.
That's something you like doing?
Yeah, I love doing wakeboarding.
You're just cruising, or are you doing backflips, or...?
No, I'm not too good at it. I mean, I just get out and have a bit of fun. Try and jump the wake and whatnot, and that's about it.
Okay. Well, anyone that knows you, Jesse, knows that you got a few tattoos on you.
Yeah.
Tell us what any of those would represent to you, if you can.
Well, I've got my last name across my stomach. That was a birthday present from Mum and Dad.
In case you forgot your name, or...?
Yeah, it's because I had a few dramas remembering my last name. And got my brother's name on my side. And pretty much none of the tattoos don't mean much at all. Just the artwork.
Okay.
So, yeah, I love them.
You love them?
Yeah.
All right. You got any more planned?
I mean, once you get one tattoo, you want to get more. So
okay.
I'll get some more one day.
Fair enough. And for everyone who doesn't know whereabouts you grew up, it's in Sunny Coast?
No, Mudgebar, down on the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
Yeah. So I actually grew up till I was 7 in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad split, and then I moved to the Gold Coast and started going to school there, and yeah, I love it. It's an awesome place to live.
All right. Do you still keep in contact with any of your schoolmates?
I do, a few. Most of the people I hung out with at school was just motocross friends.
Yeah.
So there was a few of us just sat around the group at lunchtime, and we always used to ride and stuff, so that was pretty much our group, and I do keep in contact with a few other friends.
Okay. Any of those guys involved at the same level as you are with motocross? Or?
One of my good mates, James Japper, he rides a bit, but he's been doing a few nationals here and there, and that's about it.
Okay. All right. So we get to the motocross, and as you said, you started riding younger. How did you go as a junior?
I went really well as a junior. I mean, I wouldn't say I was best. I did win the Australian Championship 2012. That was pretty much my career highlight. Best result I've had. And then from there, I kind of, the year after, I didn't really pick up any sponsors or anything, so it was just kind of me and Dad, still going to the track and racing and stuff, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Is it a difficult thing to, or maybe you can share with people, a difficult thing to get yourself to the Nationals? And
It is, yeah. Well, I mean, the past couple of years I've been, I was working full time and I was trying to ride at the same time, and it just kind of doesn't work. You know, kind of, if you want to be at the top level, you got to kind of ride 3 to 4 times a week, and having a full-time job doesn't really allow you to do that.
Yeah.
And then when you're spending all your week's pay on your bike, it kind of takes the fun out of it again.
Yeah.
So when I got the opportunity to ride with you guys last year, it brought back all that fun.
Yeah.
And I just loved being back on the bike again. It was good.
Okay, so, I mean, how much does fun play a part in what you do and your racing? Because, I mean, it is a long season.
Yeah.
So how much does fun and being comfortable where you are play a part in your mental attitude towards racing?
Well, I mean, that's why we all started riding, was because of the fun. I mean, if you're not having fun anymore, you're not enjoying it. Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to be having fun. You got to be enjoying it, and I mean, the more you enjoy it, I love training and stuff as well. It's not like I take going training. I love it. Get up in the morning and go. And I mean, the fitter you be, it brings back the fun, and yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay. All right. So I mean, you've made the move from Queensland down to Sydney over the last 4 months. How have you found that in the training?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I've been staying down here. It's just a lot easier. I mean, stay at the house with the team, and we go training, we ride, we do everything together.
Yep.
And yeah, it's not like I'm away from the team. It's good.
Yeah. Have you found that beneficial or different? I mean,
yeah,
bear in mind before you said you weren't really a team player.
Yeah.
Has it been a hard transition for you to do that?
No, not really. I get along with the whole team great. I mean, me, Kane, everyone works well together.
Yeah.
And it's been really good. I haven't had any drama with it.
Yeah, okay. It's just one of the interesting things, I guess, to explore, because a lot of motocross riders are out there training by themselves, and they hope they have a training partner when they show up. But for the last 4 months, you've been brought into an environment which is a full team environment.
Yeah.
Including even the little races you go to, the team follows you around and is there, fully supporting what you're trying to do.
Like the past few years, I have been training on my own.
Yep.
And I mean, I was going to work with my bike, and then I'd go straight to the track afterwards, and just Dad would meet me at the track and just ride around. I mean, now I've got someone to ride with, like me, Kano, Kieran Hall,
Isaac.
Isaac. Yeah, we all go to the track and ride together. It's a lot, like you push each other as well, obviously, and that's 100% beneficial.
Okay.
It's good.
So, just go back over your whole time, who's probably been the most influential person on your riding?
Dad, for sure.
Okay, in what way?
He's just always been there for me. Like, I think this year, me being down in Sydney, is the first time he hasn't been to the track.
Yeah.
I think he's only ever missed like one race in my life.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that was for, but yeah, he's always been there for me. And he's just got my back 100% of the way.
Yeah, all right. Do you reckon he's missing it?
Yeah, 100%. He's ringing me flat out. It's just a bit of a distance for him to come down and watch a little races down here. So
yeah.
Once the nationals start up, he'll be there for sure.
Yeah, no, good. I mean, let your dad hang around with us and helped you out in the Supercross, and all things were really good there. So
yeah, he loves it, whether it's washing the muddy bikes or just standing there doing nothing. He loves being there.
Okay, so he supported you 100%, and most parents do. Tell us a little bit about your dad, just in relation to how he relates to you before or during the race. Is he supportive? Does he get cranky? He's disappointed?
He's pretty chilled out, to be honest. He's one of the more chilled dudes out there. He just says what he has to on the start line and just makes sure I'm calm and whatnot. And if I come in and have a bad race, he'll just wait till I'm chilled out, and then he'll say what he's got to say. And if he knows that I don't ride to my 100% ability, he'll put it up me. But if I've given it the best I can do, he's fine with that.
Yeah. Okay. So, you've been around the junior tracks, and you made a transition into the pro ranks. Is there any advice that you could probably give parents who have young kids in the sport, just in relation to their development, or from a rider's perspective, what they're looking for from such an influential person?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if the fathers or the parents are putting too much on the kids, I mean, they're not going to like riding, and they're just going to start making mistakes and whatnot. You got to kind of let the kid do what they want to do. I mean, most kids go out there and give it 100% anyway. So I mean, you can only do the best that you can do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you do see it. I mean, it's not motocross; it's right across all sports, and parental support is key.
Yeah.
To keep kids in the sport for a long period of time, and you don't want to put any extra pressure on them, or live through, their goals and live your dreams through them.
Yeah.
And being a parent, watching the kids play sport, it makes you really proud to see them have a go. So I can imagine where your dad's coming from. It's just all about the support and encouragement for the kids to what to do.
It's been pretty good. He's a legend.
Oh, you're lucky that way. All right, now outside of Dad, what sort of riders? What are the riders that you looked up to or as you're growing up? What riders?
My cousins. I mean, my cousins rode. I had two cousins that raced. I mean, they always smoked me when I went to the track, so I was always looking up to them, and I rode with them for a few years when I was younger, and sort of learnt off them, and then there was a time where I caught up to them and passed them, so that was good. But yeah, they were guys I looked up to, and I mean, I love watching Chad Reed ride, and he always motivates me to ride.
Okay, in what way?
Just how consistent he's been over his years. He's always been up there, you know what I mean? And that's always good to watch him, and learn a lot of things.
Okay, let's get to the time that now you're in the pro ranks, and a lot of commitments come around that sort of stuff. What have you learned about yourself having to deal with sponsors and your fans and that sort of stuff? What did you learn as a person?
You kind of, you got to be the most professional you can, I guess. You got to keep on top of your postings, all that kind of stuff to promote the brands and whatnot.
What about the interaction with people? I mean, you come off at a race and you're shitty.
Yeah.
How do you hold yourself when you feel like that? When young kids are coming up and they want your autograph?
Yeah, there was a race the other week there where I got taken out in a race. It was a pretty silly move by another rider. I mean, I was pretty angry, but I mean, I come in. I ride for Suzuki Australia, so I got to keep my cool and focus on what I'm there to do and just refresh my head and go out the next race and work on what I need to do. Yeah,
it is a very important part of what you guys have to do as pro riders, and the fan interaction and how you represent all the brands is really important, not just for you but for everybody else involved in the sport. So that was my question, like coming from an amateur into the pro ranks and having all these expectations.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you, or it's just like a learning curve and you work things out on the way?
I mean, everything's a learning curve. I mean, you're never not learning. So I mean, you just got to be the best that you can be and do the best you can for the sponsors and stuff, and keep them happy, and they'll keep you happy.
Yeah. I think moving on for that there. Tell us a little bit about the stuff you've been doing off the bike, and the training and the different type of training that you've done this year, and some of the testing and.
We've stepped training up heaps this year. I mean, we've been training with our trainer Andy in the gym, and when we're not in the gym, we're either cycling or swimming. I'm an asthmatic, so I mean, swimming's been 100% good for me, just to open up my breathing and stuff like that. So that's helped a lot. And just riding. We've been riding. This year's the most I've ridden my whole life. Like we ride 4 times a week, 5 times a week.
Yep.
So I mean, that's been beneficial, and we've really upped our training for the first start of the year, and then sort of backed it off now, and we're just conditioning our body and riding and whatnot, and we've got a couple of weeks till nationals, so should be good.
All right, and you made the transition to the Suzuki bike. I mean, you were on Suzuki before with Raceline.
Yeah.
So you are familiar with the bike, and then you went KTM, Husky, and now back on the Suzuki. Can you tell us the differences between the bikes?
I grew up on Yamaha, so I mean Suzuki and Yamaha are pretty much similar, and I've always liked the Japanese bikes. They just handle really good. When I got onto the KTM, it was difficult for me to get used to it. Different frame and whatnot, a lot more rigid. Not a bad bike, but I mean I prefer Suzuki over KTM Husqvarna. Just a lot better feel, and I'm a lot more comfortable on them. Okay,
cool. All right, so motocross, supercross, and it's a little bit of a dangerous sport.
Yeah.
Tell us some of the injuries you've had.
I've had some pretty bad crashes, but I mean, touch wood. I've been lucky. I've only had a broken wrist.
Okay.
And just heaps of internal stuff.
Internal stuff.
Just
like that's nothing.
Like just bruised up and banged up, and that's about it. A lot of concussions and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, our policy on concussion, and where we stand on that. What do you feel about that?
I think it's a really good idea. Having 7 days off the bike and off training, doing anything really. Refresh your head and make sure your body's 100% right before you go back into training and putting yourself back on a bike. Okay,
I guess the question then begs, and it's a hypothetical. Let's say you're in the championship running, first, second or third or whatever, and we come into the last race, and 4 days before the last race, you've had a concussion and we enforce the rule. You can't race in the last race. Now, how do you feel about the concussion rule?
Yeah, shit, really shit.
Okay. Would you understand why we do it?
Yeah, I would, yeah, 100%.
Okay. I think it's really important that we discuss those sorts of things because, and I know we have with you, in relation to why we do it, as a professional athlete, there's still a duty of care for all of us to make sure that you're okay no matter where that falls in the championship or prize money and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Your health is number one.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you go out there and your head's not right, you take another spill, I mean, it's not looking good for you. So
no, it doesn't look good for anyone.
100% agree with that, and understand it.
So I mean, touch wood. Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen to anybody. But
yeah, for sure.
That is one of the rules that, as you know, we have in the team.
I've had enough spills this year already, so...
Yeah, you've been off a couple of times, haven't you?
That'll do, yeah.
Yeah. No, I guess it's all part and parcel of it, though. I mean, you're pushing yourself to the limit, you are going to fall down.
Yeah, you're doing the best you can.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Okay. So, I noticed you have a little shirt on there, which is one of your sponsors. Helps the team out, the EDL shirt. What does that stand for?
Everyday Living. I mean, they're going to be a clothing sponsor this year, so some pretty cool gear. I love it.
Yeah, cool.
It's good.
All right, no drama. Just before we let you go, I just want to have a little quick chat in relation to you riding a Harley.
Yeah.
And how that come about and why the Harley?
I've always loved them. I mean, my stepdad's got one as well, and seeing him ride it all the time, I just always wanted to get one.
Right. So what'd you get?
Street Bob. Bought a Street Bob. So yeah, it's the best thing ever. I mean, get home from day's riding or get home from day's work and just jump on and go up them hills and clear your head. Yeah. Nothing better.
You find it does that for you?
Yeah, 100%.
Is that before or after you're doing burnouts?
Bit of both. I mean, that releases the anger as well. Yeah, Mum doesn't really appreciate it, but...
Which, the burnout or the noise? Or
burnouts. Yeah. Me buying new tyres all the time.
Yeah, so I bet she wouldn't.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
She loves it.
I'm going to let you go. Yeah. Thanks for joining us on our very first video podcast.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
No problem, and we'll get you back in soon. We'll get a few of the boys and we clean up our act to make these better.
Too easy.
It'd be more fun.
No worries.
Thanks bud.
Cheers.